Today I'm going to be showing you how to fix all of the common faults with the Synology DS1513 Plus, the two most common being completely dead no power, and number two, the blue light blinks endlessly but the unit never actually fully initializes. Now this unit is fully functional, but it is not refurbished. So what we're going to do is refurbish it by replacing all of the components that commonly fail and cause those two faults. First, let's start by removing the cover. Need to have your Synology NAS fixed? We offer flat rate services with a 1-year warranty. Click the link in the video description below to purchase. There are three parts that can fail and cause a completely dead no power fault. Number one is a dead CMOS battery. Number two is two ceramic capacitors on the motherboard. And number three is a dead power supply. Let's start with the power supply replacement. Now be aware that a lot of these replacement power supplies have 115 and 230 volt settings. Because we're in the USA and we have 120, we're going to use the 115 setting. And I will have links in the video description below as to where you can buy these replacement power supplies from known good retailers here in the USA. Now we'll notice I do have two missing mounting screws on this power supply, but that's okay because when we put the back fan cover, it will lock in the power supply. Next, we'll remove the motherboard. So technically I didn't have to re-engage this connector clip. And I have two connectors over here, so I'm going to be very gentle and careful to lift that side up first, and then we'll wiggle the board out, flip it over, disconnect our front panel buttons. Now we do have our CMOS battery over here. One thing to be very cognizant about is that this socket is very fragile. So what I like to do is I'll use tweezers. I will actually put downwards pressure on the socket and I'll lift the battery only out of the socket. Otherwise you might actually rip out that entire socket off the motherboard. So I have my multimeter in DC mode. Let's go ahead and do a voltage measurement. And I thought I got a voltage for a quick second, but I'm only getting millivolts, which really means that it's completely dead. So here's my replacement, and the replacement is a Panasonic branded battery. Let's compare that one, and we're getting 3.3 volts. All right, let's go ahead and install the replacement. And this one we can toss out. Our third repair that commonly causes the dead no power fault is going to be those surface mounted ceramic capacitors. And for that, we're gonna have to switch to the microscope. As our point of reference, this is the CMOS battery we just replaced at the edge of the board. And if we scooch over to the left, here, we're going to notice two capacitors, C366 right over here and C365 right over here. Now I'm doing a resistance measurement and I'm currently reading about 13 kiloohms on C366. If I switch over to C365, we should actually get a very similar reading, about 12 kiloohms. And it's rising and going down. So yeah, just about 12 kiloohms on that one. So if you're getting more than 10 kiloohms, I would say both of those capacitors are okay. However, if you do see visually that they are burned or damaged, or if they are shorted, meaning the reading, say, 500 ohms or less, then that means that they're defective and will need to be replaced. Now, just to the left of the C366 capacitor is our daughter board with our NAND. If that gets in your way, it might be easiest to just lift it up and scooch it over. And since I'm left-handed, it makes it a little bit easier for me. So we're going to use our soldering iron. We're going to add solder to both sides of the capacitor. And then we're going to melt both sides at the same time until it loosens up the component. Oh. All right, we're making a bit of a mess. We'll clean it up. So something I probably should have done is use a little bit of flux. What it will do is help us get better flow. All right, our resistor is still soldered down, so we're good there. And we'll use our desolder wick to remove some of that excess solder. Add a little bit of solder back on one side and scooch over to the next one, C365. We'll repeat the same process, hopefully a little bit smoother this time. We'll spray the board with some isopropyl alcohol and clean it up with a Q-tip. So we're just removing some of that flux. And the reason we're replacing these capacitors is because they may have not failed today, But since they are known to commonly fail, by preemptively replacing them before they fail, we more or less guarantee that this unit will last a much longer time before it does have any sort of failure. Now, the original capacitors, I believe, were 10 microfarad, 16 volt rated, and we are replacing them with 10 microfarad, 25 volt rated capacitors. So obviously we have to have a match on the microfarad rating, but the voltage we're going a little bit higher, and what that means is that it will be able to withstand a little bit more voltage spikes if those occur. So it's going to be just a little bit of a stronger capacitor. And the reason we do that, of course, is because we do want to try and put a better replacement if we can. Now I have a weird angle here, so we're going to rotate the board, and now we should be able to solder down the other side. There we go. So same as before, we're going to add a little bit of flux, and that's because I just want to be sure I have very good flow between the solder, the component, and the trace on the circuit board. Same thing, a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and a Q-tip to clean up some of that excess flux we added. Now that we've replaced the 3 parts that commonly fail and cause the dead no power fault, let's tackle the blue light blinking endlessly issues. There are 2 common failing parts for that. Number 1 is going to be failing RAM sticks, and number 2, there is a controller IC on the back of the DOM, which is this chip over here. This is our DOM, which is the disc-on module located just to the left of the 2 capacitors we replaced. And if we pinch this plastic clip with our needle nose pliers and lift the board off, we can flip it over, and right here is our U1 IC. Now this motherboard, we've actually already replaced the RAM sticks, and that was actually the cause of our blue light blinking endlessly initially when we had first purchased that unit. There was no way for us to really determine with a multimeter check whether or not the original RAM was defective, other than simply replacing the stick with a brand new one. Now because that has already been done to this motherboard, we're not going to show you that step. However, I do want to show you and talk to you more about this DOM and this IC chip on it. There are 2 versions of this DOM which use different controller ICs. Number 1, and this is the one that we have here today, ITE with part number IT1165E-48B. Now if you have that version of controller chip, then in fact you don't have to worry about replacing it because the ITE branded one never fails. Now if you have the other version, which is US Best with part number UT165-L48, revision A0A, then that one does commonly fail and commonly has to be replaced. Because our DOM is using the ITE chip, we're not going to be replacing it. If it was using the US Best chip, we would be replacing it with an identical replacement US Best chip. We cannot replace it with an ITE branded one. They are not cross-compatible. Now, if you want us to show you how to replace that US Best chip, you can check out another video we've already made with that replacement. I'll link it at the top right, as well as in the video description down below if you're on mobile. But for this video, we're going to just install our DOM back on the motherboard. We already have our replacement RAM, so we are good to reinstall this into our unit, and that will complete our refurbishment. If you have a DS1513 Plus that you would like to send in for us to fix, we do offer flat rate services which come with 1-year warranties. Those are available on our website, which I'll link in the description down below. They do include the full refurbishment, so every component will be replaced, including the US Best chip, if your DOM uses that revision of the chip. Otherwise, if you found the video helpful or useful, leave us a like, subscribe for more content, and thank you for watching.